Hey, can you guys hear me? See me there? Let's see. I'm going to try to do something for you guys today to see. I'm horrible at filming. I know that it's reversed. You're not going to be able to see this well, but I got something I want to share with you. I'm getting ready to go live in a little bit in just a few minutes, actually about 45 minutes with Dr. Jack Wolfson. He's a cardiopaleologist, and I wanted to share a couple things with you first. People ask me all the time, they're like, well, okay, doc, I get it. What is health, right? And so that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about. And I got these posters behind me. They're kind of hard to see, and I know it's backwards, but just listen what I have to say. I'm only going to talk for about 15, maybe 20 minutes, but I'm going to share some stuff with you about health. So what I need you to understand is this. Most people do not know what health is. I've done 5 interviews this morning already between seeing patients from 6 a.m. until now, and they've all been great. The messages that we're getting out are being received very well by the medical community, by the health community, and by most of the population. Most of people know that we're just trying to help people get healthier, and that's what you want. You want to be healthier. That's what we're going after right now. In the world we live in right now, we've got more stress, more fear, more anxiety, more than whatever. And when we get that high level of stress, what happens is the front of our brain, our prefrontal cortex shuts off. And the amygdala, the stress part of our brain just takes off like crazy. So I want to take a couple minutes and I want to share with you what health really is, okay? There's a difference between health and disease. There's a difference between managing disease and getting people healthy. And that's what I want to talk to you about. So I don't specialize in managing diseases. I don't specialize in giving drugs to diabetics. I don't specialize in giving drugs to hypertensive patients. We have doctors in our office that help manage the medications and we have nurses that manage the medications as well. But what we do as a wellness center is we help people get well. How many of you know this? Like, listen, I want you to hear this. We spend in our country almost $4 trillion a year on healthcare. 4. We spend more money than all the 100 industrialized countries combined. Let me say that again. We spend almost $4 trillion a year on our healthcare system in the United States alone. That's more than the top 100 industrialized countries together, period. So if we spend more money, we have more doctors, we have more access to medication, we have better healthcare than anywhere else in the world, we have the brightest doctors on the world here. Why do we rank the lowest when it comes to infant mortality, death rates? Why are we now in a trend where we're starting to see life expectancies go down? I mean, why is that happening? That's because there's a difference between sick care and health care. There's a difference between managing symptoms and managing someone's disease than getting to the root of the cause, helping them change their lifestyle, helping them get healthier. How many of you all would like to live in a world where we focus more on cause of a problem than just treating the symptoms? How many of you would like to live in a world where we're more focused on the root of a problem? What's the true aspect that's contributing to this, and going after that instead of treating the adaptive physiology that people's bodies are expressing, which could be everything from sinus drainage to upset stomach to heartburn to pain to anxiety to depression to insomnia to fatigue to low testosterone to all this kind of stuff. Those are symptoms. We have to find the cause. And I'm telling you right now, when we look at health, the way that we look at it, the way that wellness doctors all over the world look at it is different than the folks that manage disease. So let's talk about that. And guys, please do me a favor. Continue to share where you guys are at. Continue to ask questions. We're going to do everything we can about that, because this is the truth. This is what health is. Physiology doesn't lie. That's the key. We guess. That's what causes problems. What we do in our world is we test. That's what gets to the root of the problem. So physiology doesn't lie. We test, we don't guess. That's one of the tenets of our practices, one of the tenets of wellness doctors across the country. You guys across the world, this is what we do. This is not just what I do. This is what we do. And we've had conversations this week with hundreds and hundreds of doctors all across the country that act the way we do, think the way we do. And now our procedures and protocols that we do as a wellness community are being utilized in hospitals, nursing homes, doctors' offices all across the country and all across the globe. And that's a blessing. There's a massive shift that's happening right now. And if we continue to do what we've always done, we're going to continue to get what we've always gotten. So let's talk about health. In our world, there's 3 things that we look at from a physiological standpoint. Number 1, we look at the physiology of your structure and your alignment. Why is that important? Why is physical medicine such an important aspect of being healthy? Just like a car, if your car is out of alignment, that's going to cause a problem with your vehicle. Many of you have experienced this before. If you get out of alignment, that's going to cause a problem with your body. That's your vehicle. So listen, when your body's out of alignment, you need to understand something. Number one, it starts to negatively impact the nerves. That's what happens. The nerves get negatively impacted when the joints don't move properly. When the joints don't move properly, nerves are irritated or damaged. That then affects muscles, ligaments. That also affects joints. That also affects organs. When organs are bad, that then affects the organism. And when the organism is bad and the organism is weak, then that's us, by the way, our organism. Then the whole system gets shut down. The system's broken. That includes the immune system, the nervous system, digestive system, reproductive system. All those things are predicated off of a lot to do with structure of your body. And we know this. And we've known this for decades in medicine. Hippocrates, the founder of medicine, first said, "Seek ye knowledge of the spine and all other things will fall into place." Then he said, "Seek ye knowledge of the stomach and all things will fall into place." He didn't say, "Seek ye knowledge of a bunch of drugs." And I get it. He didn't have a lot back then. But in their world, they would say, "Here, take this root. Let that be your medicine. Let your food be your medicine." Then what happened was, then we started getting a little further along. And then in, the 1800s and all that stuff, we started getting more medications coming out. When the medications started coming out, it was, "Here, take this elixir. Here, take this drug," which, by the way, most of it was methamphetamines and cocaine. I mean, they were drugs, right? I mean, you guys, if you look up the research of healthcare, they'll say that. I mean, that's what happened. That's what we did. We gave them drugs. I mean, housewives were depressed. What did we give them? We give them speed. Clean the house, do the dishes. They're ready to rock and roll. That's horrible for our body. But that's what we did in our society. And things change. Science changes. Learning changes. We have to evolve. That's the human experience. It's all about adapting and overcoming. If you don't adapt, you die. And that's what's going on in the world today. Not just with COVID, but that's what's going on with heart disease, cancer, diabetes, stroke, everything. And a lot of it has to do with structural physiology. It's a problem. Number two, we look at the chemical physiology of the body. Chemical physiology is nutrients and foods going in. Are you digesting? Are you absorbing? Are you using them? Anybody that doesn't think nutrition is an important thing is an absolute idiot. You are an idiot with a capital idiot. Because nutrition is just like a car. If you don't put gas in your car, it's not going to run. If you put diesel fuel inside of a car, what's going to happen? Good or bad? Bad. You put crap in here and crap in here, what's going to happen? You get crap everywhere else in your body. So if you want to have energy, you want your body to have optimal performance, you can't eat crappy foods all the time. And the only way to know where your body is to measure it. How do you look at your structure? You take x-rays. You get with somebody that knows how to do assessments and range of motion and check your body, look at your alignment. I mean, that's just the truth. When we look at chemistry, we got to make sure that there's a balance, not just in vitamins, minerals, nutrients, but also hormones. Also looking at neurotransmitters, gut function. All these things have to be measured. Most of us aren't going to doctors that are measuring all those things, and that's okay. I'm sure there's a lot of great doctors out there. There's a lot of really specialized doctors. Remember, healthcare is like that. Remember that little ball, that little game that we used to have when we were kids, or that our kids play with? Where you put the shapes in? The circle fits in the circle hole, the triangle fits in the triangle hole, the star fits in the star hole, all that kind of stuff. But if you don't fit in that little hole, what do? They send you off to somebody else. That's what medicine does, because it's about managing disease. Wellness is a little different world. And by the way, medicine and wellness work together. In my offices, we have medicine, we have wellness, we have all these things mixed together for the betterment of the family. It's not a fight. It's a coexisting. And that's the benefit for all people. So you have to have good physiology and structure. You have to have good physiology in your nutrition. We'll talk a little bit more about that. How do we measure it? What do we look for? What are good nutrients? Yes, there are supplements. Supplements should be taken to supplement a crappy lifestyle, to supplement a crappy diet. If you're not eating 4 to 6 cups a day of dark green vegetables, if you're not drinking half your body weight in water a day, half your body weight in ounces of water a day, okay? If you're 200 pounds, you should have 100 ounces of water. If you're not doing those kind of things, then guess what? You're not going to be healthy. And you have to supplement. So those of you that say, "I don't like to eat vegetables, I don't like to eat fruit, I don't like to eat lean meats, all I eat is junk food, processed stuff," then you're eating crap and you're going to get crap out of your body. That's just a fact. So you have to supplement more than ever. Why is it so hard to find vitamin C and zinc and probiotics and all this stuff right now? Why is it so hard? Because people now have been caught with their pants down. Their pants are down because of this, because we've been eating like crap and living like crap for such a long time that our bodies are acting like crap. That's why we're sicker than we've ever been as a society. That's why we have more symptoms and sickness and disease than we've ever had. Anxiety, depression, stress is on the rise. Even before COVID was going on, we were declining. We were dying as a society. Life expectancy kept going and going and going and going. But guess what? All of a sudden, we started making this curve going downhill. That's because if we don't change the way we live and change the way we act and change the way our body functions, it's going to keep going down. So we got to make sure that our body, number one, has good physiological alignment. Number two, we got to have good nutrition, good chemistry. What are things that most people aren't getting they need to supplement? Vitamin C, because you're not eating enough vegetables. What else? Zinc, because you're not getting enough minerals. Zinc is a mineral that comes from the ground. It's one of the biggest deficiencies on the planet. One of the ways, without testing your blood, one of the ways that you can look at see if you're zinc deficient, look at your fingernails. If your fingernails have these little white patches in them, that's called leukoplakia. That is a sign. That is an absolute sign of zinc deficiency. Could be some other things, but that's typically what it is. The body tells us. The body has signs and signals. When the check engine light goes off, you have symptoms, that means there's a problem. It's too late. So, other than zinc, other than vitamin C, what else? Vitamin D3. Why is D3 so important? Remember, when does flu season typically happen in the United States? It happens here during the months that we don't have much sunshine, right? We get up in the morning and it's dark. We go to work all day. We're under fluorescent lights. That's not good for us. When we leave it in the afternoon, it's dark. So the deal is this, is that if we want to get healthy, if we want to have a good immune system, a good nervous system, a good organism, we have to make sure that our structure is good and our chemistry is good. What other nutrients are good? Why is green tea extract such a good thing? Because it's an antioxidant. When we're under stress, we get oxidative stress. Our body, the best analogy I can give you is that rust from the inside out. That's what happens. Oxidative stress literally goes, these little free radicals are bouncing around our body, and when they hit things, they destroy the cells and the cell walls in the body. Antioxidants like green tea and vitamin C and things like that help it a ton, so that our body then now has the nutrients it needs to be resistant against that stress. Now, this morning, I was talking this morning to a group of, they were attorneys, and I was talking to a large group, and I was doing a webinar for them on stress. And that's what I talked about. I said, the more stress our body's under, you got to understand this, the more out of balance we are from a structural standpoint, from a chemical standpoint, and then from a neurological, mental standpoint, the more we're out of balance, the more stress is pushing at us, right? Stress is physical, it's chemical, and it's neurological. So here's the deal. The more out of balance you are, the more problems you're going to have. Listen, here's health right here in the middle. If you're healthy, you're balanced. It's called homeostasis. Every doctor understands this word. Every person who's been through 6th and 7th and 8th grade science class has heard homeostasis. Your body's balanced. When you're balanced, guess what? Everything's healthy. Whenever you get out of balance, that's because stress is pushing you from here over to here. It moves you out of ease. When you're in balance, it's called ease. E-A-S-E. That's the Greek term for it, balance. When you're in ease, the body's good. You can fend off sicknesses and diseases and viruses and bacteria and all this stuff. But whenever you get more stress, then you get what's called eustress. Let me say this again. Stress pushes you out of ease. You go from ease to now dis-ease. Dis-ease is whenever we start to get some symptoms. That's when we start to get tired and run down and our energy goes low and our muscles start hurting. We get headaches and migraines and digestive problems and heartburn and acid reflux and all these things happen. So when we get that, we start getting pushed this way out of ease to dis-ease, and we live there long enough, then our body goes all the way to disease. A disease process, most doctors will tell you, diseases are adaptive physiology. High blood pressure. Great example. Your blood pressure goes up in response to something. High cholesterol. Cholesterol goes up in response to something. And it's not just your diet. We now know that research says right now that diet affects about 10 to 15% of our cholesterol production. And so does genetics. So it's more than just that. There's other imbalances that cause that to happen. And the more stress we get pushed upon us, the sicker we are. But the more that we do, that we can control, what we can control is this. We can control how we fight back. How do we fight back? What we have to fight back with is getting our body back towards getting out of disease, into disease, back to ease, homeostasis. That's balance. Well, how do we do that? We have to first recognize where we're out of balance. I mean, it's just like when I was a kid. I'd get up every morning on Saturday, I watch G.I. Joe cartoons, and what would he say? Knowing is half the battle. What you don't know can and will kill you. Most people have no idea where their health really is. So when you come into a wellness doctor's office, we're not just going to check off boxes and find out where your symptoms are. We're going to find out where your health really is, what your goals really are. And our job is to go, okay, your goals are this. Let's find out where your health is. We need to get you from here to here. Let's bridge the gap. And we're going to measure those 3 aspects of physiology. Number 1, structure and alignment. Number 2, we're going to look at your chemistry. How do we do that? Blood test. We run blood tests. We do saliva. Sometimes we do hair. We do a lot of nasal swabs, DNA swabs. We can measure those things, and those things will tell us what's out of balance. Once we find out what's out of balance, then we treat those things. Should you take zinc? Yes, if you're deficient in it. Should you take C? Yes, if you're deficient in it. How much D should I take? Depending upon your individual body. I mean, think about your body like a bucket. We don't need your bucket overflowing, but we need to fill your bucket up to the top. So overdosing in supplements isn't going to help you. Most of these aren't even going to hurt you. You just pee them out. But because the diet is so crappy, because we're under so much stress and everything's pushing us this way, we've got to supplement. You've got to. So, measuring physiology. Physiology never lies. Structure, chemistry, neurology. This is a big thing. Looking at the mental impulses of the brain, making sure that the body is in proper alignment, making sure we're thinking good thoughts. You guys know what we think about, we bring about in life. That's just a fact. And when I get on the phone in just a minute, or we get on the, Facebook in just a minute with Dr. Jack Wolfson, he's the paleocardiologist, amazing doctor. Helps people get off drugs all the time and get them truly healthy. Because what he does is he's helping people find the cause of their problems, not just treating their symptoms. So what's the importance of supplementation? So how do we move from here? How do we push back? So what do we do physically for our body? Here we go. Physically for our body, what can we do? The law of movement. The law of nature of movement states this: if you don't move it, you lose it. We live in a sedentary lifestyle right now. We're not moving enough. If we don't move enough, we don't get nutrition and the wiring to our brain. A guy by the name of Roger Sperry, look him up. Roger Sperry won a Nobel Prize. I believe it was in the early to mid 80s. And his team won a Nobel Prize because they found out that movement of the body, primarily movement of the spine, was the number one nutrient for the brain. They found that if you go out and you move the body, the more stress we're under, the more the neurochemical chemistry in the brain balanced out. When we get under stress, our gas pedal gets stuck on go. The stress response is many things, but adrenaline goes high, adrenal glands contract, they produce, cortisone, they produce vitamin C, all this other kind of stuff gets released, and then the body has a response to that. It's a protective response. We used to be running from the bears. Now it's dealing with life, right? Making deadlines, getting your wife and kids and husband and spouse ready for the day, and paying bills and keeping your lights on and finding food, all this stuff. The human body responds the same. So we want to push back. We want to push back from this. So movement is important. How do we move? What do we need to do? Research shows us, Dr. Roger Sperry's work tells us movement is the key. 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes a day can burn cortisol off your brain, enough to where your brain can relax, prefrontal cortex turns back on, and we're able to think, we're able to adapt, we're able to have good communication. That's why people who exercise on a regular basis are healthier people, period. And you don't have to go to the gym. Right now, you can't go to the gym. But you don't even have to go to the gym. You can walk around your house. You can go up and down your stairs. You can still walk around the block. There's things that you can do, and you need to do these things outside, especially when it's sunny and it's warm out like it is today. Very, very, very important that you're doing these things. The more you do for yourself, it's called eustress. Look it up, eustress. The more eustress that you do, the more that you push back against, eustress is this way, de-stress is this way. Stress pushing you this way is called eustress. De-stress, you've heard of it. You got to de-stress. Well, how do you de-stress? Movement, man. We're talking to doctors all over the country that are telling their patients they're in the ER and ICU and they got all these problems with COVID and they got problems with pneumonia. What do we want to do? They're saying move. Gosh, move your body, stretch, get up, get down, get moving. That's why we recommend, we love chiropractic, we love massage therapy, we love physical therapy, because that allows someone else to move your body for you. Sometimes we don't move it enough as we should. But 20 minutes a day is such a blessing. Get your kids out doing stuff. Many of you right now are having struggles with your kids because they won't focus and concentrate at home and do the homework and all this stuff. So here's the deal. Get them out and go work them out for a little bit. Give them 30 minutes of a workout program and then have them come inside, and you'll be surprised how much better they do. So you have to have a balance in that. You got to get movement. Law of movement. Move it or lose it. Guy won a Nobel Prize for that. Law of nutrition is the second one. Law of nutrition clearly states that you got to eat right food. If you don't put the right fuel in your body, you don't get the right physiology out of it. And most of the problems that we have, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and stroke, most of them are not genetic. They're not genetic. They run in families. Yes, you know why they run in families? Because you do the same thing mom does, the same thing dad does. You stress the same way, you act the same way, you respond the same way, you eat the same way. You do everything the same way. Those are learned behaviors. It's familial lifestyle behaviors that cause that, not genetics. Most gene issues we know they're epigenetic. You guys look up Bruce Lipton's work on epigenetics. You're going to be blown away by how many genes turn on and turn off based off of stress and de-stress. The more we de-stress, the more we move out of sickness and disease and we move back towards balance. That's the key. Health is not just looking good and feeling good. Health is balance. Most of us don't have balance because we don't know what health is. And we're relying on a pill, a potion, a shot, or even an elixir to fix our problem, and that's not going to do it. It's all about balance, but the only way to know is to test. Don't guess. Physiology doesn't lie. So we got to look at structure. We got to look at chemistry. We got to hydrate. Law of nutrition also says hydration is so important. That's why I'm coughing right now. I'm a little nasally. I've been talking all morning, and I'll be talking the rest of the day. You guys, hydration is huge. There's a book that was written by a famous doctor that says, you're not sick, you're dehydrated. You guys should all get it and look at it. Or just start drinking water. Well, I don't like the taste of water. Well, put something flavored in it. Your body needs it. If your car said, I don't like the taste of gas, well, then what the hell would you do? Come on, let's be honest. Let's stop making excuses of doing the things that we need to do. Our body was made a certain way. We either treat it the right way and we're happy, healthy, we don't have any problems, we're like everybody else that's out there, 98% of people doing great, no problems, life's good, or we treat it like crap and then we get these problems. Yes, I get it. There are some people that are born with genetic predispositions and all this stuff. I get that. Those are the folks that should be quarantined. We should be focusing all of our resources on those individuals and not what we're doing. What we're doing just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And by the way, the numbers are starting to add up to that. Every time you talk and you see the TV turning on, it goes from 2 million deaths to 200 to 100,000. Then it's 80,000. Then it's 60,000. A regular flu season. And oh, by the way, it's really weird. I don't know if you saw this. Just a side note. We were flipping through the channels this morning and looking at some things, not the channels, but on social media and some of the magazines out. And it said the other day, the headline was, coronavirus, leading cause of death in America. And I'm like, how the heck? What? What are you talking about, leading cause of death? What are you talking about? Well, I said, well, how are they spinning it? Okay, and myself and Dr. Sean McCaffrey are going to get on tonight around 5 o'clock and talk about this live on Facebook, so I want you to be there. But here's how they spun it. Here's the spin. You don't tell me this is wrong. If you don't think this is wrong, there's something wrong with you. The headline, the big headline, number one death in the United States of America, coronavirus, COVID-19, kills all these people. 1,010 people or something like that died in a day. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. But here's the deal. Heart disease killed like 10 people less. Cancer killed like 10 people less. That's one day. That's one day. They said it for one day, but the headline was, coronavirus, the leading cause of death in the country. Are you kidding me? For a day? By the way, heart disease and cancer are going to be killing those 2,000 people 365, everybody. Not this thing. And by the way, don't you think it's really interesting how the coronavirus deaths are going up and the death rates of flu have gone down, the death rates of pneumonia have gone down, and the death rates of heart disease have gone down? That's crazy. Last 100 years, we've been measuring statistics. This is the first time ever that all three of those have gone down like that, and coronavirus has gone up. I think it's also interesting that even Dr. Birx and Fauci and all these other doctors on television are saying, hey, you know what? Anything that looks like coronavirus death, label it as so. I don't even understand that. I don't even understand why that would be a thing. Guys, please help me share this stuff. I need you to share it. We only have a couple thousand people watching. We need millions of people should be seeing this stuff because this is what health really is. So here's the deal. We got to push back. That stress is pushing us this way. We got to de-stress. So we got to move the body. We got to eat right. We got to hydrate. We got to take the supplements that we're deficient in. And the best way to do that is to get tested. And people say, well, what do I take if I don't get tested? Take fruits and vegetables. Lots of them. Take water. How much? Lots of it. Why is that important? Because that's the fundamentals of what your body needs for health. You know food is fuel. You guys understand that, right? We need food. Food goes in our body. We break it down. We absorb it if we're lucky. As long as our digestion is good. Most people don't absorb it like they're supposed to. That's why they need to get on enzymes. That's why we do IV vitamins. I just had some IV vitamin C about an hour ago. And I do that. I always do it every 2 weeks, but I'm doing it once a week now because I'm just running so much right now. And so if you're not getting the right foods in, food breaks down, digests, absorbs, and then it gets into the cells. The cells take what they need, and it turns into fuel. It's like water in your garden, putting fuel in the gas in the garden and all that stuff. But most people don't have that, so they wonder why they feel like crap. They wonder why they're tired. They wonder why their hormones are bad or blood pressure's high. There's no rocket science to this. This is just physiology 101. The problem is what we're trained to do over the last 80 to 100 years is, oh, you got that symptom? Take this drug. Oh, you got this symptom? Take that drug. Wellness care doesn't work that way. Hey doc, what's a good supplement for high blood pressure? I don't know, because what's causing your blood pressure in the first place? Hey doc, what's a good supplement to help prevent viruses? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, what do you need? Whatever you're deficient in is what you need. I was talking to some doctors locally here, medical doctors that are doing some work in the ERs, and they're coming and getting their IV shots and all that stuff. Oh, by the way, they practice what I preach, just so you guys know. All these guys are practicing what I'm preaching. Okay, they're taking vitamins, they're eating right, they're trying to get good rest. These guys are stressed more than anybody because they're on the front lines doing all this kind of stuff, and they're taking their vitamin D, they're getting their IVs, they're doing all these things. That's what's helping for people. And they get adjusted, and they get movement, they get stretched, they do all these things because they know that they got to do everything they can to get their body back into balance. I hope everybody wakes up and understands that health is more than just how you look and feel. Health cannot be achieved with a pill, whether it's a drug or a vitamin. It doesn't come from that. It does not come from that. Health comes from balance, physical, chemical, and neuroemotional. And where did I put it? One of the things that I was going to share with you guys, one of the things that I'm going to put on social media, if not today, tomorrow, we're going to put out there soon. It's a DVD series we did called The Shift, and it's a 4-hour DVD series. It's free. I'm going to give it to you guys. We put it together for our patients years ago, and it talks about things you can do to change your mental attitude. That's such a powerful thing. I mean, what you think about, you bring about. Go look up Joe Dispenza's work right now. Go look up the work by Bruce Lipton. Go look up the work by Sato and the work that he did. Emoto, that he did with his water studies in Japan. Energy of good vibrations is a real thing. We deserve to be in a peak state instead of a weak state. When you're healthier, you're in a peak state. When you're in a weak state, you're sicker. Your immune system goes down when you're sick and you're tired and depressed and you're feeling sad and you're feeling all these kind of things. You deserve to get a boost up, and there's no pill for that. Like, there's not even a drug that helps with that. We know that long-term uses of medications that help us with our emotional state are not good for us. We know that. Nobody will argue that. We know that nutrition can help. We also know that the reason why more doctors prescribe medications more than ever is because we know that people won't change their diet. People won't change their lifestyle. They won't change their movement. And that's their fault. Because if you don't, then you can't get a result. Like, let me explain something. I teach my kids this, and this is important. I want you to learn this. If you're willing to do what others won't, you'll have what others don't. Let me say that again. If you're willing to do what others won't, you'll have what others don't. If you're willing to exercise, get adjusted, go to the chiropractor, stretch, breathe, go outside, do some walking around barefooted to ground your body, take your supplements, get your vitamin treatments, eat right, do all the other mental exercises that we need to do to be healthy. If you're willing to do what others don't, you'll always have what others won't. Most people are unwilling to do those things. So guess what they won't ever have? Health. That's just it. That's just it. There's more to health, people, than just drinking water, taking supplements, all this kind of stuff. Health is a balance of 3 things: physical, chemical, and neuroemotional well-being. And you need to make sure that you're getting with doctors that can help you find that, where you're out of balance. You need to recognize it and learn on your own. You don't always have to have a doctor to teach you this. There's a doctor that lives inside of your body. The human body is an amazing thing. All the pharmacology, all the stress-relieving stuff that you need is inside your body, but you just got to learn how to tap into it. And exercise, diet, nutrition, all this stuff, it works, and it has for eons. But yet we're one of the sickest countries on the planet because we don't. Because it's easy. It's easy to just take a pill. It's easy to eat like crap. It's easy not to get adjusted. It's easy not to go to the doctor. It's easy not to hydrate. It's easy because we can make excuses. And you know what excuses do, right? That doesn't help us. It doesn't serve us. So if you're really, truly interested in getting healthy and really, truly want to be healthy, you got to take action steps. And the first thing you do is got to open your mind and expand your capacity and understand what knowledge you can get. Not just from me, but from other folks. That's why we created that Common Sense Health page. If you go to Common Sense on Facebook right now and ask to join, we just ask for a little information and all this stuff, and then boom, we'll let you in. We only want positivity on there because here's the deal. People say, well, Dr. E, how do you handle all the naysayers? Oh my gosh, it must be so hard. Let me tell you something. I've been doing this on a high level for 15 years. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? I'm only interested in helping people that want to be helped. That's all there is to it. My mother taught me a long time ago, sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt me. Do you understand that? Let me tell you something else. I learned this as well, and some of you may need to hear this as well, not just because of whatever, but maybe you just need to hear this. What other people think or say about you is none of your business. Show up every day and do the best you can do. Love on people the best way you're supposed to. Everybody has a divine gift, a divine providence, a thing that you're supposed to be on this planet to do. And that's either to help someone, teach someone, be with someone. It improves the quality of people's life. All of us are here to improve the quality of people's life. If you want to do that, let's roll. But guess what comes with great optimism? Guess what hates that? Pessimism. The people that are in peak states, feeling good, functioning good, health is good, they like life, everything's balanced, that's where I want to be. Guess who hates that? People that are in weak states. Why? Because they want that, but they're not willing to do what it takes to get there. If you're willing to do what it takes to get the results that you want, you'll get them. But you got to do it. Listen, I'm going to go. I got to get Dr. Jack on the phone with us or on Facebook here in just a couple minutes. Hopefully I can get it worked out. We'll go live. You need to hear this. If not, tune in for that. And then at 5 o'clock today, we're going to get Dr. Sean McCaffrey on. Those of you that just jumped on, comment below. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I need to see that. I want to see where you guys are watching. I love it. We're working really hard to try to connect you with wellness doctors in your areas. If you go to that Common Sense Facebook page, there's a lot of great information there. I'll continue to share. Hope you guys have an amazing, blessed day. Love and appreciate you guys. Love the encouragement. Love how you guys are encouraging each other. Keep the faith. There's a lot of great things happening. I want to wish you all a happy, amazing Good Friday and an amazing Easter weekend, you guys. Let's go out and enjoy this Easter weekend. I know it's different than we've had in the past, but in Missouri, where we're living right now, it's usually the sign of a change. Easter, it seems like after Easter, the weather's always great, and it's time to get out and go fishing and start doing some outside recreational stuff. And I'm really optimistic that there's going to be a big change happening soon. So much love, much appreciation. Have a blessed day. Thank you all for your love and support. More info coming at you later. Bye.